Today on Vallo News, Election Day is just a week away. What new polls show about just how close the race between Harris and Trump is?
And flying high, UM's mascot just won an international video contest. How the win could help improve health on campus.
Plus, how one university is using AI to check in on students. But are students engaging with it? Vallo News starts right now. I'm Holly Mann.
And I'm Taylor Walker. Thanks so much for watching. With the presidential election just a week away, CNN's last poll of the race shows Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump tied for support among likely voters.
Vallo News reporter Isaiah Wilson is joining us in the studio to break down the numbers. Isaiah?
Thank you, Holly. After campaigning for months and both candidates crisscrossing the nation to pitch their plans for America's future, this race could be one of the closest in our nation's history. According to CNN's final nationwide poll before Election Day, Vice President Harris and former President Donald Trump are tied. Each has 47% of likely voters supporting them. A September poll was nearly identical to the new poll, with likely voters split 48% for Harris and 47% for Trump. Of note, Trump has always been within the margin of error in CNN's polling this year. Polling also shows that less than a third of voters think President Donald Trump will concede if he loses the election. According to the poll, only 30% of registered voters think Trump will accept the results of the election and concede if he loses. Meanwhile, 73% think Vice President Kamala Harris would accept an election loss. The poll also found the majority of voters, 56%, have little or no confidence in the Supreme Court to correctly decide any election-related legal cases. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Isaiah Wilson.
Thanks, Isaiah. For the last 3.5 months, we've all been bombarded with political ads on TV, YouTube, and social media. In total, more than $2.1 billion has been spent on advertising since Joe Biden dropped out of the race in July. According to an ad impact data, Democrats have outspent Republicans in the last 15 weeks, forking over $1.3 billion for ads. The GOP has spent $827 million. Democrats have also outspent Republicans in all 7 battleground states during the condensed general election. The 2024 presidential election has been getting most of the attention, but hundreds of congressional seats are also up for grabs.
Those seats determine how much our next president will be able to accomplish, and it's a tight race for the control of Congress. Our Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook is at the Capitol with how history could be made this election cycle.
Polls show that something unprecedented could happen this year. The House could flip from Republican to Democratic control, while the Senate could flip from Democratic to Republican control. In the House, all 435 seats are up for grabs. Republicans currently control this chamber with a very slim majority.
I'm spending these final closing weeks in the swing states, in blue states, in toss-up districts for the House. I'm absolutely convinced. There's an energy out there right now. I'm convinced that we are going to win the White House, the Senate, and the House.
But Democrats need a net pickup of just 4 seats to flip the lower chamber. In the Senate, currently controlled by Democrats, only a third of the 100 seats are on the ballot every cycle. To flip it, Republicans need a net pickup of either 1 seat if the incoming vice president is a Republican, or 2 seats if the incoming vice president is a Democrat.
It's basically going to be about getting our voters out in the ground game and making sure that we get people out. I believe we're going to hold our majority, but it will be close. It's going to go right down to the wire.
The most vulnerable Democratic incumbents in the Senate are up for re-election in states that Trump twice carried comfortably: John Tester in Montana and Sherrod Brown in Ohio. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Remember, Election Day is next Tuesday, November 5th. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. As long as you were in line by 7 p.m., you will be allowed to cast your ballot.
Turning to campus news, Freddie the Falcon is adding another award to his trophy case. UM won first place for the American College of Sports Medicine Mascot Challenge video. The theme for the challenge is Exercise is Medicine. The award comes with a $1,000 cash prize for the university to put towards furthering its physical activity promotion on campus. You can watch the entire video on the ACSM YouTube channel. This is Wellness Week for Vallo, and there are many fun events being held to keep campus healthy.
Some of the events include Zumba, glow-in-the-dark yoga, and breath work and kickboxing. For the full list of times for the events, check this week's Vallo Voice. A health fair will also be held October 30th for students, faculty, and staff. The health fair is from noon to 4 in the Anna Irving Dining Hall. Flu season is here, and Vallo is hosting a flu and COVID clinic to help students protect themselves from getting sick. The vaccine clinic is this Friday from 9 to 1 in Student Health Services in Main Hall. Both vaccines are free for most health insurance plans. You must bring your insurance information to get the free vaccines. Remember, there's always more news 24/7 on our social media pages. Just search for ValloVision News on Instagram, Facebook, and X.
Still ahead on ValloVision News, back on the menu, McDonald's is resuming sales after the Quarter Pounder following an E. coli outbreak. What changes the restaurant is making to the burger?
Plus, zoo officials say a strange creature caught on cameras has them stumped. And a kangaroo in a diaper goes for a hop around town. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to ValloVision News. Seniors in the Communication Studies program are showcasing their skills this week. The theme for this year's COMS Senior Showcase is Harvesting Futures. Join graduating seniors from the COMS program as they display their portfolios, discuss their experiences at UM, and talk about their career goals after graduation. This showcase is Thursday, October 31st from 2 to 4 p.m. in the Student Activity Center. It is open to the public.
It's the time of year where millions of college students across the country are feeling the stress of the fall semester. The University of Wisconsin-Green Bay is reaching out to its students in a new way by using artificial intelligence. It's the first school in that state to use new technology in this way. Reporter Ben Krumholz shows us how it works.
Some students on the UW Green Bay campus weren't sure what to think when they first received a text message asking how they were doing with classes.
There was people posting on the Snapchat story saying, like, is this real? Like, are other people getting this? Is it a scam? And I still honestly don't even know.
The messages are from an AI chatbot the university is calling Flash, the name of the school's mascot.
I think people think the AI bot is the answer. It's actually not. It's the way that we open the doors to the university resources.
The goal is to help students with everything they need academically, emotionally, or perhaps something much more simple.
So questions about what's for dinner in the cafeteria tonight, to I'm bored, what's going on tonight, which will connect them to our events on campus, to I need help with a class.
In the first 24 hours, students sent the service more than 2,000 messages. In the first month, more than 7,000 messages. And the number that really has university officials excited is just 4% of students have opted out of the service, which exceeds the expectation that was set.
What we're finding in the early weeks of its usage is that students who haven't reached out to anyone on campus to ask a question are reaching out to Flash.
And if Flash doesn't have the answer, or perhaps someone needs help with something that would be better suited for a human, Flash will help make that connection.
I haven't asked any questions, but if it can give you help, give you resources like that for your mental health, I think that would be very useful.
That was Ben Krumholz reporting. The UW Green Bay chatbot is available 24/7 and checks in with students every 7 to 10 days. Now, here at home, the University of Vallo does not have a chatbot to connect students to campus resources, but we have shared a list of various UM programs and offices designated to help students on our Facebook page. Just search for ValloVision News.
McDonald's is once again selling Quarter Pounders in all of its restaurants. The news comes after tests showed the beef patties used in McDonald's famous sandwich tested negative for E. coli. An outbreak of E. coli linked to the Quarter Pounder has sickened at least 75 people across 13 states. One person died. Health experts are still trying to determine the source of the outbreak, but the FDA previously said slivered onions could be to blame. McDonald's said that its tests show the beef patties do not source the E. coli. It will resume selling Quarter Pounders, but without onions. It has come down to a court ruling, but the issue of broken McFlurry machines at McDonald's may finally be solved. McDonald's says restaurants weren't able to fix their soft-serve ice cream machines because the company that manufactured them owned the copyrights, exclusively rights to repair them. Until now, a copyright exemption is now in effect to give the restaurant rights to bypass digital locks that had prevented the machine from being fixed. Finally today, zoo officials say a strange winged and horned creature caught on camera has them stumped.
And outlandish online suggestions from the social media set aren't exactly helping. Jeremy Roth explains in today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at a trio of bizarre caught-on-camera moments that are equal parts weird and wild, but mostly weird. First, a UK zoo is asking for the public's help in identifying this mysterious creature captured on a trail camera. Folks at England's Bristol Zoo Project posted to social media saying they are stumped by the bizarre creature, reported to be sporting both wings and possibly horns. Some folks' reasoning skipped straight to the surreal, while others suggested a simple double exposure photo flub. One creative fan even shared their own artistic take on the confounding critter. To be fair, the zoo did post this image of an oddly similar deer for, quote, comparison, and to be even fairer, the whole mystery just so happens to coincide with a Halloween-themed event at the zoo. So, what say you, otherworldly woodland discovery or clever mythical marketing? In case you missed it, police body cam didn't miss a strange sight spotted hopping down a Colorado City street.
So I know this is going to sound completely insane. There is like a baby kangaroo with a diaper on, like wandering around Main Street.
911 callers were understandably confused by this swaddled marsupial on the loose, and responding Durango officials
come here.
couldn't help but be tickled by it all. Eventually, the pet Joey was rounded up and returned, pampers and all, and then was pampered by the captivated cops. Finally, we end with a massive alligator spotted sauntering across a Florida runway. While passengers did seem blown away by the perplexing predatory passerby, ultimately this probably wasn't as much a weird sight as it was maybe just a very Florida sight. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Remember, there's always more news from our team of reporters on our website, vallovisionnews.com. That's all the time we have for today's show.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to tune in Wednesday for a special Halloween edition of The Buzz. Have a great week.